Good morning, hello, and welcome to Morning Brew on Hughes of the World. I'm Graham Hughes. It is Saturday, the 22nd of August 2026. Well done on making it this far. In the chat, we've got Lost Missionary, we've got Uncover the News, we've got Chris C, we've got Mr. Tisk, we've got Elle in the chat. Hello, Elle. We've got Diz as well. Hello, Diz. Sorry for keeping everyone waiting so long then. Yeah, there was Cat was at park run and someone collapsed, so it was a bit traumatic. So yeah, had to go and be there, and yeah, so just got back just in time for the show. You can tell this is live, can't you? The problem is we need the rest of the world to stand together against America at the moment. I don't think that's a problem, mate. I think that's actually just what's happening by dint of no one being able to trust America anymore. But yeah, let's get into that. But before I do, I just want to say, if you want to join our friendly friends in the friendly chat, hit the friendly subscribe button. But if you are going to hit the friendly subscribe button and join the friendly chat, you've got to be friendly, okay? Don't be a troll. Don't be mean. Don't call people names. Don't be horrible, all right? Just be decent. Decent. Can you do that? Can you just be decent for like an hour of your life? Just wake up one morning and think, I don't know. Do you know what I'll do today? I'll be a decent human being. Yeah, do that. Anyway, morning, great. Morning, Diz. Morning. Yeah. So we're topping the show with Canada's retaliation against Trump's 50% tariffs. 50% tariffs, and the excuse for putting these tariffs on is that the slavery. Yeah. You know, America, like, built on the backs of slaves. Yeah. You know that place. Yeah. The one that still has slavery in its prison system. Yeah, that one, yeah. Apparently, all these other countries don't have the same law against slavery that America has, and therefore they have slavery, even though America has a law against slavery, but has slavery anyway. So, new US tariffs of 50% came into effect just after midnight last night on about $20 billion worth of Canadian goods. The affected products represent just over 5% of all Canadian exports to the US. Furniture, clothing, dairy products, cement, fishing equipment, and hockey equipment. The new duties apply to goods that do not qualify for preferential treatment under USMCA, the US Mexico Canada Free Trade Agreement, or the CUM agreement, as I like to call it. They come on top of existing US tariffs affecting Canadian steel, aluminium, or aluminum, as the Americans incorrectly say, lumber, and vehicles. So yeah, trade negotiations were suspended by Mark Carney, and he ordered Canadian negotiators back to Ottawa. And Canada said it will impose dollar for dollar retaliatory tariffs against new US measures. Yeah, you heard it right. Canada's going to war with America, a trade war, but a war nonetheless. America's getting another war started by Trump, by the guy who got the Peace Prize off the footy guy, off the corrupt, baldy footy guy. Yeah. Ernie Burns, I get depressed about how corrupt SCOTUS is. SCOTUS, which has just allowed Trump to continue building his shitty ballroom on the grounds of the presidential palace, which he is currently upgrading in the style of Louis XIV, because, you know, Louis XIV's taste from 500 years ago, really applicable now. Sort of a cross between Versailles and a Thai restaurant. Thai restaurant? No, that doesn't really work. It's fucking depressing that a small minority of wealthy individuals are screwing the rest of the world over at the same time they're telling us all to shut up and enjoy it. Well, yes, but there is a wonderful thing called capitalism. Actually, I don't think it's wonderful. I think it's terrible and needs to be pulled into check. But I will tell you now that currently on the national grid, only 5.6% of our energy in the country is being made with fossil fuels. Just 5.6%. That means that the other 95% pretty much is being made by other means. Solar, wind, hydro, nuclear, biomass, and interconnectors with other countries, giving us some of their juice. And when these big oil, not oil, the other thing. Oh, when these big wind farms come online next year, over the next few months, actually, the next 18 months, then we're going to see another potential 9 or 10 gigawatts of electricity going into the grid. Just so you know, like the demand for gigawatts in the UK is something like 27.4%, 27.4 gigawatts at the moment. So don't worry about the solar and the nuclear and the wind that we've already got. Just the new stuff that's coming online will produce about 33 or a third of all of our energy needs when it's windy. Obviously, I mean, there is peaks and troughs, but it's unstoppable. It's unstoppable. The march of green energy is unstoppable, and as much as the oil companies have tried to stop anyone from going green for environmental reasons, they can't stop people going green for capitalistic reasons, i.e. it's cheaper. And you don't have to rely on black sludge coming from another country to keep your lights on, or your cars running, or your fleet going. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't. You just make your own power. It's fine. Sovereign power. And we have 40% of the potential wind energy of the entire continent of Europe around the British Isles. So, we're quids in. We are quids in massively. And that's places where you can put where you can put these wind turbines, because a lot of the wind turbines that we have in the ocean are actually in the sea have actually bolted to the ground. They're not floating on, and I think they can make floating wind turbines, but the ones that we have, they're not floating. They're not like anchored down. They're in the bedrock under the sea, and they can do that because it's shallow. Dog a bank, it's a bank. It's shallow, Also, you can use the cash machine, get some money out, and go dogging as well. I mean, it's like a Swiss Army knife of wind turbines. But yeah, the point I'm making is, like, this is happening whether Trump and the oil companies and all those twats want it or not. It is happening. America is converting to electric cars, and they're not giving any incentives now that Trump's pulled back on that. They're not trying in any way, shape, or form. But you're seeing big companies like Walmart and stuff. They're putting chargers in the car parks now because they're like, it's inevitable. It's the way of the future. And dinosaur juice cars are going to go the way of the dinosaurs very, 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 very soon. Sooner than a lot of people really understand or imagine. Because most of the people, 99% of the people who transition to electric cars, they say, right, I'm not going back. Not coming back. If I do have to get a classic car, an old E-Type or something, or an old Ferrari, I'll just get the engine taken out and put an Alecki motor in, because it's just so much more convenient. It's just so. Imagine never having to do an oil change. You ever done an oil change? Got under a car with jacked up the car, got underneath, got that bloody the bolt off underneath the oil sink, whatever the fuck it's called. And then you the last turn of it, obviously the oil just oozes out. Not in the Castrol GTI. GTI was it, or GTX? The Castrol advert with that wonderful green oil, wasn't it? It was like golden green oil. No, it doesn't look like it's black. It's disgusting. It's dirty. You need Swarovski to get it off your fucking hands. And when you turn that bolt the last time, just for you have to take it off with your fingers, it's just flooding with this black ooze under your car. And then you put it out and you obviously got the drip tray underneath. But if it doesn't go on the drip tray, well, then you've got to get some oil on your driveway, which isn't fun. Again, really, really hard to remove. And then what do you do with the oil? You take it out your car. You can't put it down the drain, mate. You can't put it down the drain. You got to put it in. What we used to do is put it in an old paint can. Put it, until the paint can was full, and then close it up and we had to take it down the tip. I mean, why? Why would you want to have to do that? Why are you like, no, I want the right to change my own oil? Well, you don't have to change oil at all. You don't have to top up your oil and water. Imagine that. Never having to use a dipstick again. Never having to go out on a cold February morning and in the rain and open up the bonnet of your car and then dip your stick and then pull it out and check it, wipe it, put it back in, get your hands all dirty on the way to work. Why would you want to go stop in at a petrol station and make your hands stink of diesel? Or put gloves on and everyone looks at you weird because you're putting gloves on to put petrol in your car. Why would you want that smell on you? It's just like, yeah, it's disgusting. It's really, really disgusting. So yeah, I'm quite rosy about the future, because no matter what these twats try and do, Farage and Putin and Trump, 9 times out of 10, it blows up in their stupid, gormless faces. Now look at what's happened to Putin over Ukraine. He's absolutely got bogged down in the mire there, hasn't he? He thought, oh, this will be easy. I'll just invade and put a new leader in, and I'll be a little puppet, and they'll do what I want. Lad, how's that working for you? Your economy, your wild berries depots are on fire. Your oil depots are on fire. Your economy's on fire. But Oh, my mum is in the chat. Hello, mum. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, mum. Witchy wisdom. I like on Saturdays. My mum's not working, so she can join in the chat. So that's very nice. Scott, it's beyond absurd. We need a new word for absurd. L says he had 34 counts and was convicted, due to be sentenced in December. Yet could run as president in November. So much for justice. Yeah, L. This is what I've been saying about the Americans are fucked. I mean, the American system is fucked. I'm not going back there. Probably for a very long time. Might not be for the rest of my life. I don't know. Depends how long I live. But yeah, I'm not going back. Place is fucked. So have a look at what they're going to do in the midterms, right? And I'll tell you this now: whether Trump wins or loses, and he's going to lose probably, they're just not going to accept the results. They're just not going to accept it. They're going to say there was a big con, there was a big thing, and they'll make all the Republicans who have got a seat already stay in their seat for the next Parliament or whatever. They'll do. They'll look through the Constitution. They'll look through all the laws. This is the Federalist Society we're dealing with here. We've been around since the 1970s, going through every single law in America and finding out how to twist it in their favor. And they will take it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will sit there and go, "Oh, we have to make a decision about this, do we? Are we going to make it a priority about letting Trump crack on with his disgusting Baroque ballroom? No, we're not going to do that. No, why would we crack on with this? We'll just wait for another couple of years. And then when Trump runs again in 2028, everyone will say, oh, God, this has got to go to the court. They go to the court, to go to a federal court, and Trump will put his own federal judge in place, and that they'll say, oh, I'll have to really think about this. Give me a couple of years. And then a couple of years later, while Trump is president, in 2030, if he's still alive then, if nature hasn't taken its course, or his mate Natalie, the human printer, he hasn't looked at her the wrong way, or the wind charm was the wrong way around, pointing the wrong way. You dirty little bird. And she finishes him off. I do actually think that in not the way that she normally finishes him off, but I do believe that if Trump leaves this world through unnatural means, it'll be someone in his inner circle just going like, because they're all mad. They're all mad as a March Hare. So good luck with that. You know what I mean? Electric motors have instant acceleration and torque. I know. It's beautiful. Talk of the devil, as I like to say. No more spark plugs. No more manifolds. No more carburetors. No more fuel injectors. No, don't need it. No big heavy lead battery. Don't need it. Got a lithium battery. Much lighter. I mean, bigger, but lighter. Well, proportionately, it's lighter. Yeah, it's all good. Take all that out your car, put it in the Lecky motor, charge it up in your house. Just get a big fucking extension lead and plug it in. Be charged in the morning. What are you doing? You don't drive your car 24/7, do you? Drive to work, drive home. That's how you use the car. No problemo. People go, oh, hey, range anxiety. No, bladder range. That's all you need to be anxious about. How far can your bladder last? Your bladder can last 600 miles on the motorway. Well, good luck. There isn't 600 miles of straight motorway in the country, so I don't know where you're going, but you will have to stop at some point and get on a ferry, I'm pretty sure, or go through a tunnel or something, or wait for the train to go through the tunnel. But yeah, 600 miles. I want 600 miles, or I'll get anxiety. Okay. But there are petrol stations closing down in China right now. The petrol stations closing down in America. There's petrol stations closing down in the UK because no one's going to be using petrol stations in 5 years' time. They're going to be so few and far between. The future that George Miller envisioned for Mad Max, we're all fighting over the last bits of oil. No, not going to happen. Because people, and this is important, people will take convenience over everything. And electric cars are just, gosh darn convenient. There's electricity everywhere. Just plug it in. Trump winning the Supreme Court, which imposed some conditions, it will be far more secure than current facilities, in all fairness to Trump. I don't want to give Trump fairness. He wants to build a disgusting fucking ballroom in his own honor with a big gold statue of himself in the middle of it, like some tin pot fucking dictator from some Central Asian former USSR republic. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just pathetic. It's just childish. The guy's a fucking baby, you know? A solid state salt battery would be better than lithium that can just set on fire at any time. Well, it can't set on fire at any time. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of people with fires going on in their pockets because everyone's batteries in their phones is lithium. Everyone's lithium ion. Everyone's batteries in their laptops is lithium as well these days. That's why they're so light, because lithium is the third element of the periodic table after hydrogen and helium. Lithium, beryllium, I think. Boron, is it carbon, nitrogen? I don't know. Oxygen, something like that. Sodium. They better bring down the costs of e-cars if they want more people to adopt them. Most people can't afford them. Well, they don't need to, you see, Martin, because most people, you know, me growing up, we never had a new car when I was growing up. It was always an older car, except that my dad bought second hand. Sometimes to have to fix up himself, which he did. But yeah, we didn't have new cars. And the problem was, 10 years ago, there were just no second-hand Lecky cars on the market. They just didn't exist, because why would you? Well, I mean, no one had bought one in 2005. But people have been buying more and more of them over the last 10 years. So yeah, there's more cars on the second-hand market now. And the batteries are holding up like you wouldn't believe. Like, the batteries are... we've had our EV for 3 years now, and it's still giving us... It actually gives a bit more range than it used to, which is kind of mind-blowing. I don't know if they were just, lowballing us when we first got it, but yeah, it's a brand new car. I mean, we didn't buy it; it was a lease thing, salary sacrifice scheme. But at the same time, I mean, Jesus, no complaints apart from that stupid screen. But they have the stupid screen on petrol cars now. Trying to press all these buttons just to turn the fan on or off, or the volume up or down. Since you've mentioned so many, are you going to sing the Element song by Tom Lehrer? No, I'm sorry, I don't know the Element song. But where was I? I was sodium, magnesium, aluminium, something like that. And then, I don't know, silicon, maybe? I don't know. Phosphorus, titanium? No, that must be way later on. Is it? I don't know. Sodium is definitely sodium. Not sodium, I said that. Fuck, what comes after that? The smelly one. Sulfur, chlorine. What comes after that? Potassium. Yeah, true story. Anyway, right, I've got to down that road. Not switching to summer blend petrol, which companies have not done to a large extent this year, can make cars blow up too. Well, I mean, filling your vehicle with exploding fucking liquid is a good way to make your car blow up as well. It's incredibly dangerous, and we'll chalk it down to things that we couldn't believe people used to do in the past, along with smoking and voting for the Republicans, voting for the refuckers. What, you used to vote for these people? Yeah, couldn't you see that they were con artists and criminals? Yeah, I saw an article about Terry Christian shared it on Facebook, and it was about this American who voted for Trump, and then he'd lost his life savings or something to a fucking Ponzi scheme, like to some absolute criminal con artist who diddled like 20 million pounds out of these saps, and Trump's just pardoned. Trump's just pardoned the criminal, and he's like this with his combine harvester going, "Oh, why is he pardoning the criminal? Because he's a criminal. That's what criminals do. You voted for a criminal, you get criminals. That's what you get. That's the way. That's the way it works. I mean, Jesus Christ. It's like going, I'm going to vote for Al Capone to be president. Oh my God. Why is there so much more? Why is there so much more of this bootlegging going on now that Al Capone is literally the fucking president? Anyway, they claim that flats are self-contained and fireproof. I call bullshit on that. As my neighbours upstairs had a burst pipe and the water made it into my flat, says Chris. Yeah, iron salt batteries sound good, although they're quite large. A lot of energy capacity in them, though. And one of the problems that we're having with different batteries is just wear and tear and temperature difference. Temperature difference makes a big thing. But lithium is pretty good, you know. No, there's a lot of money being spent on telling people that lithium's a very bad thing and it can explode at any second. But if you've got your phone in your pocket right now, which I do actually, well, that's a lithium battery, mate. That could explode at any moment. Multipass. Trump has been getting love letters from Harp. Yes, Natalie Harp, his human printer, and more. And what's this? And EVs had the problem of battery lifespan. If I was going to buy a 5-year-old EV, I would want the batteries replaced. No, you don't need to anymore. I was going to say that the battery memory problem is a thing of the past. It's a thing with very early EVs. You know, it's like saying, I'm not going to get a car. I'm not going to get a petrol car. Why not? Oh, because you have to hand crank it to get it started. Like, oh, I don't think you have to do that anymore. It's all right. Oh, because you have to have a guy with a red flag walking in front of it. Don't think that's the case anymore. It's 2026. You're all right. You're all right. But there will be some people who cling on to the internal combustion engine like their life depends on it. Do you know what I mean? Like a bit of driftwood in the middle of the ocean after a shipwreck. They will cling to it for all their worth. You will have someone literally at the stroke of midnight on the day that we stopped selling petrol cars in the UK, buying the last petrol car, and then drilling the jet so it consumes twice as much petrol as it needs to and has a big plume of black smoke coming out the back. Then that's the policy of a lot of refuck voters and a lot of refuckers. Let's make Britain's children's lungs fucking smaller. Yay. Anyway, back to retaliatory tariffs. Carney said that US negotiators introduced last-minute terms to Canada that Canada regarded as unfair and economically unacceptable. Immediately before the breakdown, officials have been discussing a deal that could have reduced tariffs on steel, aluminium, and cars. Negotiations also had the possibility of American alcohol returning to Canadian provincial liquor stores. A US Trade Representative, Jameson Greer, said that Canada walked away from terms agreed earlier in the week. No. Yeah. Who do you believe? Who do you believe? The people working for a fucking criminal con man who's famous for stiffing the people who work for him, famous for, stiffing the contractors who make his buildings and not paying them because he's a fucking gangster. That's what gangsters do. Makes the problems go away by killing people. Washington says Canada was demanding additional concessions, particularly concerning steel, aluminium, autos, and softwood lumber. Well, I mean, concessions, you're just taking your closest neighbour and slapped a 50% tariff on a bunch of stuff that they sell to you. Fuck off. You're not in a position, for no reason as well, for no reason. There are currently no further trade talks scheduled. So, this could lead to job losses and in Canada more than America. But, I think was it Chris who said that the countries around the world need to band together to fight America? Yeah, we do. We all need to band together and say, fuck off, America. We're not buying your shit. Actually, do you know what? I've said this before, right? This isn't anything new. We don't need to boycott American goods. We just need to boycott paying for them. Because nearly all American things are actually available on the internet for free, if you know where to look. And if Britain, say for instance, said, "Hey, listen, I know at the moment that the IP for the that particular website that I'm not going to mention that has a synonym of Corsairs Cove is banned in the UK at the moment. If you try and get into that website from a UK IP, it's going to block it, right? But do it from Costa Rica. You're fine. So Costa Rican government has obviously said we don't care about this cul-de-sac of privateers, in that respect, we are going to just allow people to use it. I guess. Same in Vietnam. I think Vietnam, they don't give a fuck. I think we should do that. I think all of Europe should. I think all the world should do that. Just say, yeah. Do you know what? That piracy thing kind of affects America more than it affects us, doesn't it? Hashtag just saying. And we're the ones protecting their copyright, right? So they can protect ours. Do they? Do they fuck? All they do is make money out of our IP. Not our IP address, I mean intellectual property. The other meaning of IP, that doesn't stand for Internet Protocol. Also whatever it's called. You're not suggesting LimeWire or Pirate Bay, are you? No! No, I clearly did not say that. I did not say those words. I said Courser's Cove. Thecoursescove.org, or words to that effect. Whenever water can get through smoke and hot combustion and gases and possibly flames, well, if there's a car on fire, it could explode. That's pretty bad because, it's got petrol in it, which is an explosive gas, explosive liquid. But if you have a lecky car fire, you can put it out with water. You need a lot of water, but you can put it out with water. I've spoken about this before. We need to have special lecky car fire trucks, right? Which are basically a big bathtub full of water in the back of your massive bathtub full of water on the back of your low loader, right? You drive up to the car that's on fire and you got a little grabber, like in the what's that thing called? The scrapyard. Goes across, grabs the top of it quickly, picks it up, puts it in the water. Drops all of it into the water. Well, I wouldn't drop because all the water will go everywhere. So just lower it into the water. Flame gone. Flame gone. Flame gone. Because you're cutting off the oxygen. Yay. There's a transition in some cases through hybrids. Access a Lamborghini linked to Skoda has a triple engine switch system moving between petrol, diesel, and electric, so it can fill or charge anywhere. God, that sounds confusing. But yeah. If purchasing isn't ownership, piracy isn't theft. Ooh, I like that, Jenny. Oh, put that on a t-shirt. I like that. If purchasing isn't ownership, piracy isn't theft. Very true. Very, very, very true. Hey, listen, I realised I haven't put a goal on here. A goal. So I'm going to put a goal on the show. I don't know how far we'll get with this, but maybe we'll get a little bit of Saturday confetti on our Wide Awake Club here. So there you go. Hey, happy days. So yes, Canada has told America to stick their tariffs where the sun don't shine, and Trump will inevitably chicken out because it's not going to be great for the American economy. Not that he gives a fuck about the American economy. He's just making out like a bandit, like all of the Trump followers and camp and all the people around Trump. They're just making out like fucking bandits with Americans' money. The biggest pyramid scheme, the biggest crooked pyramid scheme, the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of the world. I give to you, ladies and gentlemen, the United States of America. So yeah, I would not be investing in American companies at the moment if I were you, unless you can invest with other people's money and then do what you like. I've got a porch. See what I did there? That's very good. I like that. A lot of US fire departments will not attend car fires that involve electric cars. They let the fire burn itself out. That does a lot of damage to the road, so that's probably not a good idea. Driving for Answers has a good vid on different types of hybrids. I just don't see the point of hybrids. Like, it's just more faffing around. Fuck it. It's like, should I drive this car using petrol, which costs 60 quid to fill the tank? Or should I drive it using electric, which costs 3 quid to fill the tank with electricity, if you know what I mean. Tyson apologised to firefighters for injoint remarks on extreme heat, says Labour. Yes, Simon. Yes, he should. The twat. You just enjoy the show. Enjoy the show. Enjoy watching the world burn. The world burn. Just enjoy. Enjoy. Ooh, fossil fuel usage is down now to 5% of gas. Cool. Anyway, so meanwhile, US Postal Service is preparing tougher rules for postal ballots. The US Postal Service has published a 95-page final rule covering mail ballots ahead of November's congressional elections. The rule cannot currently take effect because federal courts have issued injunctions blocking it. But USPS, the US Postal Service, I think that is, Postal Service even, says that publishing it now means the system could be implemented immediately if those injunctions were overturned. Under the proposed system, states would have to provide the Postal Service with lists identifying voters who have been sent postal ballots, so we can go and intimidate them. States would also have to attach unique barcodes to both outgoing and return ballot envelopes. And the Postal Service said it would refuse to deliver ballots from states that did not comply with the new requirements. This is all part of Trump's thing of trying to get rid of mail-in ballots because he can't corrupt those, whereas the ones that you do electronically, his mates like Elon Musk and that have bought massive shares in the companies that make those voting machines and can rig them, which they did in the last general election in America, the presidential election, in which Trump apparently won. In some places, he got 100% of the votes because that happens, doesn't it? In your ward, in your constituency, one candidate gets 100% of the votes, even though down ballot people were voting for Democrats in the down ballot, but no, none of them voted for Kamala Harris, not a single one. Nothing to be seen here. Nothing suspicious about this. Fucking cheating scum. Anyway, the Postal Service says employees would not record voters' political affiliations, inspect ballots, or open sealed election mail. Okay. Anyway, Donald Trump ordered these changes through an executive order in March of this year, claiming that widespread postal ballot fraud caused his 2020 election defeat. Even though there's no evidence for that whatsoever, but then there's no evidence that the things coming out the back of planes is anything other than water vapor. There's no evidence that the world isn't round. There was no evidence for any of the religions that exist in the world, but people still gonna believe things of which there is no evidence. Although I'm kind of a little bit with the late great Christopher Hitchens on this. Things that can be extraordinary claims that can be stated without evidence may be dismissed without evidence. I like that. Anyway, so the US District Judge Indra Talwani blocked the implementation of this last week, and several states and congressional Democrats argue that the US Postal Service does not have legal authority to impose election administration requirements on states, because states are supposed to run the elections. So this is a way of getting a federal body, the Postal Service, to be in charge of the elections, which are supposed to be held in the states. Or, the jurisdiction is in the states, and they've also challenged. Challenged making major procedural changes so close to the November 2026 midterms. Which is chaos. But then Trump thrives in chaos. It makes him lots of money. The final rule was formally due to be published on the 26th of August. Immersion of lithium batteries is not smothering them as they produce oxygen themselves. It's to reduce the thermal runaway that produces the oxygen that makes lithium fire so dangerous. There you go. And he burns there with the chemistry. Yeah, science. My heart sinks on motorways with concrete surfaces here. The noisy ones. Uncover, and someone needs to locate those interconnectors and say disable them good and proper. So it takes months or years to reconnect. Interconnectors? What? A lot of US. I agree. Tice should be forced to apologize. Well, I could afford some goof. Total my Corolla. I would like to get electric, but there it is. I'm sorry. Member for 3 months. 3 months. Captain Coconut. Hello. Yarr. Ye be dealing them their data packets. Arr, says Captain Coconut, which is a great name for a pirate, actually. So thank you. Thank you for being awesome, and thank you for being a member for for a whopping 3 months. Thank you. You're the best. You're the best. Beaconshaw Fire HQ down the road from me is working 24/7, and Chris Tice is a twonk. Flick that switch undercover. Remind them what Canada can do. Yeah, elbows up, Canada. I mean, in Trump world, it's actually better to be an enemy of Trump, because then they'll treat you better. Yeah, and if you're the enemy of the US, if you're the Taliban or Iran or North Korea or Russia, avowed enemies, you'll get treated better than if you're an ally. It's crazy, that, isn't it? Anyway, up is down, left is right, dogs and cats living together. And he always reminds me, considering how reactive lithium is when it comes in contact with water, the only way to deal with lithium fires is to fully immerse them in water. Chemistry, innit? According to historical documents, cars were man-powered back in the Stone Age. They tipped over easy at the drive-thru. Yeah, well, you put massive fucking dinosaur ribs on this one side. I mean, what do you think's going to happen? But, at the end of the day, Al, you'll have a gay old time. Ooh. Anyway, moving on. We've got the really shit story about there's a double strike on a shopping centre in Ukraine in which 16 people were killed, 130 people were injured during daylight hours yesterday. 22 children were amongst the wounded. A shopping centre, a shop. You know, like the Ukrainians are targeting the depots, and people are getting killed. Yeah, but they're not people who are just going at everyday shopping. There's no kids in there, you know, working, unless they've got child labour going on in Russia, which I wouldn't put past the Russian authorities, but you know, whatever. Yeah, this is disgusting. Rescue crews searching through they search through the destroyed building overnight. And what Russia's done in this situation is done what it often does, which is taken a leaf out of the Taliban's book, out of Al Qaeda's book, in which they will attack a target, and then when the emergency services turn up half an hour later, they'll launch another attack on that same target to take out the emergency's first responders. That is a sadistic. I mean, it's evil enough blowing up a shopping centre, but to do it twice in that way, it's because Russia is a terrorist state. It's run by a terrorist, a criminal, a criminal evil motherfucker called Vladimir Putin, who should be behind bars or at least tip it out of a window, which I think might happen pretty soon, one way or another. But I don't think a state should tip him out the window. I think one of his mates who's fucked over needs to tip him out of a window. Could happen. Senior IDF officers believe Netanyahu is planning to escalate in Gaza to postpone elections, according to the military correspondent. Alon Ben David. I wouldn't surprise me. Uganda is sending troops to Israel. They built a statue for Bibi's brother. Uganda. You know, that's where I mean, I feel sorry for Uganda. I mean, they're a place that other countries like to go and interfere in Uganda. This isn't nothing, you know, unique about Uganda. In the greatest scheme of things, but Uganda does seem to get picked on a lot by like the American missionaries going over there and saying maybe you should make homosexuality illegal. And the oil companies in Saudi Arabia have a you know, it's yeah. When you have a system that was set up to encourage corruption, pretty much. You know, the transition to independence for Uganda from the British Empire wasn't well done. In the case of a lot of African countries, and probably all African countries, it wasn't particularly well done, and it led to circumstances in which you know, corrupt gobshites get in charge. But then, you know, we're not much better. I mean, America's got a corrupt gobshite in charge, and they fucking love him. You know. Still 1/3 of Americans are like, he's my guy. I don't care what he does. He can shit in my mouth. I'll fucking swallow it down. Yeah. What can you do? 1/3 of people are twats. Anyway, there's a little bit of ray of light on the horizon when it comes to the UK economy. It actually grew by 0.3% in June. And the GDP increased by 0.4% across the second quarter. I mean, it doesn't sound like much, but we are talking millions and millions of pounds here. Like, you know, it's 0.4% of like 3 trillion pounds. So, you know, it's quite a lot. But on current figures, Britain is on course to have recorded the fastest G7 growth during the first half of 2026. Which, you know, everyone's doing a bit shit. You're doing a bit better than everybody else. We're all doing a bit shit, but everyone, you know, just a slightly bit better. You can, you know, something to brag about, I guess. The S&P Global Services Purchasing Managers Index, whatever the fuck that is, rose from 52.1 in July to 52.8 in August. The reading above 50 indicates expansion of the economy. So, you know, the highest figure for 6 months and stronger than every forecast submitted to Reuters Economist poll. So, you know, there's confidence in the UK, which there hasn't been for a while, especially under the Tories. A lot of unconfidence under the Tories because we know what they were going to do next, and they wouldn't tell us a lot of the times. Remember the signs they put up saying, get ready for Brexit? They put signs on the motorway saying, get ready for Brexit! And I'm like, what should I do? Should I tune my radio to another station? Should I drive like this? Well, what do we need to do? You've got a sign on a motorway saying, get ready for Brexit. Okay, doing tense. Brace. Brace for Brexit. Sign on a motorway. That's what our government did. Didn't tell us what we needed to do. But we need to brace for Brexit. Fucking useless. Anyway, so Separate surveys from YouGov and Opinion and Barclays and Ipsos have also shown improving household confidence. Retail volumes, excluding fuel, though, fell nearly 1% in July, but over 3 months from to July, they were 4% higher than a year earlier. So, ebbs and flows, swings and roundabouts, Bob's your auntie. It's all good. Right, okay, so can we talk about lithium batteries? We were talking about lithium batteries, and I've actually got this in my notes, so yeah. We got some bad news with Suzanne. Been in hospital for a month. Oh, shit, sorry, Suzanne, I'm sorry to hear that. Hope you're all right. Wisconsin. I'm trying to remember what the capital of Wisconsin is now. Oh, God. Is it Madison? No, it's not Madison, is it? Wisconsin? I think it's Madison. Madison, Wisconsin. That seems to ring a bell. I'm probably completely wrong, Suzanne. I'm sorry for getting you the wrong state capital there. But I hope you're all right. I hope you're getting there. Don't recommend 0 out of 10. Yes. Yeah, I can imagine. Madison. Is it it's going to annoy me now. What's the capital of Wisconsin? If it is Madison, I'll do me little I was right animation. And if I was wrong, I'll do me little I was wrong. But if it was a pub quiz, I'll say I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to give this about 43% certainty. So not overly confident, but I'm pretty sure it's Madison. Yes, it's Madison. Yes, hurrah! I did it. I'm very excited about that. I was right. Everything I say is right. Well, So my certainty for that answer there in the pub quiz has gone up to 100% now, because someone who actually lives in Wisconsin has said it's Madison. Yes. Okay, Adrian says, I stewarded Lamborghini Skoda stand at Earls Court Motor Show in the late 90s. This link goes at least as far back as that. Ferrari, Fiat, then Fiat Chrysler merger, tech ownership shares involved. Cool. I don't know what that's about, but yeah, excellent. Or bad. I'm not sure. How am I supposed to feel about this? I don't really understand. Glad you're home. US hospitals are very expensive, although that can be said for almost all healthcare in your area. I hope you fall through. Oh, that's nice from Captain Coconut to Suzanne over there. Give yourself a pat on the back. Unless you mean a cow pat, and then I'll have to go and crouch in a field under a cow somewhere. Anyway, wouldn't be the first time. Lithium, we were talking about lithium batteries, right? Okay, I've got a news story about them. The Environmental Services Association recorded 1,518 fires at member waste facilities in the year to March 2026. At least 541 were directly identified as being caused by lithium-ion batteries. Another 216 battery fires occurred in bin lorries. This amounts to 10 confirmed battery-related waste fires each week. And we really need to get awareness on this, right? Because after a few years, what can happen with your lithium batteries, and happens with some lithium batteries I had in an old phone, it swells up. Also, my drone, I've had a DJI drone, and the battery in that swelled up as well over time. And if it does that, it can, I think if it gets punctured or something, it can go up in fire, go up in smoke, which is why my old mobile phone battery, I actually took it to the tip. I took it to the tip and just pulled over the side of it. And it was really annoying because there was a big queue of traffic trying to get in, queue of cars, and they were, tipping out beds and tables and, climbing frames and all kinds of stuff. And I'm there with this little tiny battery out my phone, but it's swollen up. So I'm like, I'm not going to put this in the bin just in case. And I just handed it to her. I said, lithium battery. And she's like, oh, give it that here. So I don't know if they've got a special lithium battery oxygen-proof bin or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's estimated that 40% of known recyclable sensor fires are caused by batteries, although its true proportion could be as high as 70%. Common sources include batteries in vapes, which are unnecessary, phones, which are a little bit more necessary, toys, not particularly necessary, and small electrical devices. The damage and disruption associated with waste fires are now estimated to cost around £1 billion a year. So the comparable estimate for this, right, 2021, was 150 million. So it's gone up that much. Yeah. Lithium ion cells can enter waste compactors or shredding machinery and ignite after being crushed or punctured. So the ESA is calling for stronger collection of return systems, including a proposed £5 deposit on vapes to encourage consumers to return them rather than put them into general waste, which I absolutely agree with. And if you're going to look at the comparable estimate there, right, there's not that many more mobile phones, right? The mobile phone number of mobile phones is as high as it was 10 years ago, right? What has changed since 2021 is vaping. There's so many people are vaping, and they're fucking dangerous because if those batteries get punctured, they can go up in flames. So yeah, I do think that we need to have some kind of, not necessarily an alert on all our phones saying look out, but I do think we need to have more savvy about batteries, not throwing away lithium-ion batteries for that very reason. I went to the tip with an old mercury thermometer. It was unbroken, sealed, and double wrapped, and the bloke looked like it was going to kill him. Sir, I put that in my mouth for years. Well, he might not have known you put it in your mouth, Reverend Kathy. He might have thought that you put it somewhere else, like they used to in the 80s in Denmark, apparently. Speaking of lithium, in school, I watched an experiment where lithium balls skates on the tops of water. It bounced off the water into my friend's mouth. He said lithium tastes like fire. Ooh. Ay. How'd they go in his mouth? Wow. The mail is wrong and full of shite. The night is dark and full of terror. The mail is wrong. The mail is wrong and full of shite. It is full of terror, isn't it? Rubbish dump staff are a different breed. Lol. Old mercury thermometer. Don't kill someone with a mercury thermometer. I don't think that's ever happened, but it could happen. So yeah, anyway, if you do have a lithium battery, please don't throw it in the bin. Take it to the tip and make sure you put it in the right place in the tip. Doesn't set. Under your armpit. Yes, that's what I was thinking of, Simon Smith. Under your armpit. Meanwhile, writers, producers, and directors are increasingly taking temporary work, evaluating and training generative AI systems. Rates reported from workers range between £12 and £200 an hour. Jesus, £200 an hour. I'd love that. I don't think I get that a week these days. And they're teaching models how to write screenplays, create filming schedules, prepare pitch materials, identify filming permit requirements, plan staffing, access location hazards, and organize production documents. Now, I don't have a big problem with people using AI to help with staff planning, identifying film permits requirements, because that is a big problem when you're trying to film stuff and you got the perfect place and your location scouts go out and go, yeah, come back. You like those buzzy bees, done your little bee dance, you go back. So when you're a location scout, you go out and then you come back to the production place where they're doing it and you got to do the little bee dance, to show the others where the place is where you can get all the honey or you can film the thing. But sometimes you do that bee dance and everyone follows you like a swarm to the place where you think is going to be good to film, but then you're told you're not allowed to film there. That happened to me when I was location scouting for an Under Armour shoot a few years ago with a Liverpool player, and we were planning to shoot outside Anfield because he played for Liverpool, and we were told at the last minute we weren't allowed to, because I think I don't know who it is, but it's like Reebok or someone own the rights to use Anfield in any promotional material, and no other clothing or footwear company is allowed to do so. So we had to change things pretty quickly. We had to change it up. Good job. Location scout Graham knows his Liverpool like the back of his hand. Anyway, needless to say, Ozzy went on to play a great gig. Okay, so companies using these training include OpenAI and Anthropic, and where I don't really have a problem with, helping with filming schedules. I do have a huge problem with AI writing screenplays. I have a huge problem with that. That is just going to be shite, and there's enough shite getting made, and I don't want money to be taken off what could be good stuff to be given to shite stuff. But on the other hand, you start to, well, is this an AI-free script? Yeah, well, it's probably worth more than an AI-generated script, because an AI-generated script will say, hey, it'll call the movie, it's not X, it's not Y, and the X and Y will have nothing to do with each other. It'll be like, it's not daylight, and it's not coal. And you're like, how are those two things related? It is, blah! That's the way, that's the syntax. Is it syntax? Is that the right word? Cadence? I don't know, whatever the word is. The structural prosal flow. Prosal flow. Sounds like something you should go to the doctor about for telling stories. But the work is happening during a severe contraction in conventional film and television employment. And Film LA figures show that shooting days in Los Angeles fell 48% between 2021 and 2025. US employment in motion picture and sound recording industries peaked at around 450,000 in July 2022. And by May 2026, employment had fallen to 326,000. So 450,000 down to 326,000 in just a few years. A decline of 28%. So yeah, so now AI technology companies are saying, hey, if you can't make that movie you want to make, why not help write this, tell this AI how to write movies instead? Which, I find a bit depressing. I think that any human endeavor, like creation of art and literature, movies, music, etc., should be left to the humans. Can we leave that to the humans? Please. The problem with the UK is household recycling has only been a serious thing in the last 30 years. We have lagged behind the likes of Germany, Holland, Denmark for decades. Well, I don't know. We do recycling, don't we? I got recycling. We got 4 bins here. There are 4 bins. We designed recycling every place should we have designed recycling in every place should be for lithium-ion batteries. They bloody closed our town tip. Now we have to go to the next town and make an appointment. Jesus Christ and cunt. That's not very good, is it? Sorry, language. Language, Timothy. Simon says, the Byline Times, wine, vapes, and woke mental health jibes, leaked emails, exposed Durham Reform Council meltdown. Yeah, that's actually really quite funny. Okay, so I'm going to change the super chat thing. I just got worth one super chat, I think, all this. I do put a little bit of effort into these things. So I'm just gonna remove the goal for 5 because I don't think I'm gonna get that. So we'll just do one. Just do one. If someone out there is feeling generous, but give it a few minutes before you actually go through with it, because otherwise we'll it won't trigger the confetti in the chat. So just give it a minute. Right. So one super chat disabled the old goal. It's not gonna get that. So we started a new goal. Yes. Come on, let's do it. A couple of quids for a day's work. Well, I know it's not quite a day's work, but, Anyway, where was I? US and Iran tensions rise again over Hormuz. And new sanctions. Washington is preparing to announce another package of sanctions against Iran on Monday. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has described the forthcoming measures as exceptionally severe. Okay. And Washington says countries providing economic lifeline to Iran could also face consequences. They won't. This is particularly relevant to China, which buys roughly 80% of Iranian oil exports. Donald Trump said Friday that Iran wanted an agreement, but was not prepared to accept what he regards as correct terms. Yeah, there's a war with that end, mate. That quid's in. Russia's quid's in. You've taken the sanctions off Russia for their fuel, for their gas, the petrol, diesel, whatever. They're laughing, man. They're laughing at you. It's laughing at you. Anyway, Iran rejects any US claim over the strait and says reopening the Strait of Hormuz and reopening will occur only under Iranian authority. So there you go. US Energy Secretary Chris Wright, I might be wrong, I might be right, says the recent 7-day average for oil passing through the strait was around $8 million per day. Before the war, it was more like 20 million barrels of oil per day, roughly 1/5 of global oil consumption. And yeah, like I say, all this keeps blowing up in the faces of the dickheads in charge, because dickheads are dickheads and they do not understand the law of unintended consequences. Yay! £2 from One Angry Pagan. Yay! We did it. Thank you, One Angry Pagan. I'll give you a little heart next to you. There you go. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Oh, yeah. And the Green Bay Packers win. Yes! Thank you very much, Suzanne, and thank you very much, One Angry Pagan, for we can now release the confetti! There you go. Dance, ginger powder monkey, dance. Right, thank you. Appreciated. Thank you. Go the Packers. So anyway, apparently, according to the US military, since February the 28th, when this all kicked off, 18 American personnel have been killed and more than 750 have been wounded during this conflict, which is completely unnecessary. Meanwhile, the Pentagon has fired senior Stars and Stripes staff. Stars and Stripes co-editor. This is a newspaper for the Army and the Navy and the Air Force, I guess. Eric Slavlin and also the publisher and Middle East reporter Lara Corte. The publisher Max Lederer and Middle East reporter Lara Corte have also received separation notices. This is a long-running newspaper serving US military personnel, and it receives 65% of its funding from the Pentagon. But apparently it has statutory independent editorial independence. Slavin says he was dismissed for insubordination. He recently told CBS that censorship of the news provided to service personnel will cross a red line. Yeah. But yes, the dismissals come days after reporting in the Stars and Stripes and the Navy Times on poor conditions and mental health problems among sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln. Mentioned here on the show a few times. Separately, reports say the Navy has considered changing plans for future aircraft carrier CVN-81. And the ship was formerly named the USS Doris Miller during Trump's first term. Doris Miller was the black US Navy sailor awarded the Navy Cross for his actions during the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. But they changed the name instead to CVN-81 because he didn't want to honor a black soldier. So there you go. Wow. Anyway, another fascist move in the fascist playbook. Yeah, that's what he does, because that's what fascists do. They're fascists. I'm going to start the goal again. I can start. Yeah, it's my show. I can do what I want. Coming up to 1 hour now. Coming up to the 1 hour mark. We've got a few more stories, and then we'll have a quick look at the papers, and then I'll let you go and frolic in the autumn mist. And next up, we've got the US Navy surveillance aircraft has crossed the Taiwan Strait. A US Navy P-8A, sexy name, Poseidon Maritime Patrol and Surveillance aircraft flew through the Taiwan Strait on Friday. The US 7th Fleet says that the aircraft remained in international airspace. Washington says the flight was intended to demonstrate the freedom of navigation and operation under international law. China state media quoted military officials saying the situation remained under control. And US military ships or aircraft make similar transits every few months. But, timing is everything. This comes ahead of an expected meeting between Xi Jinping and Donald Trump next month. More! Confetti for days, says Captain Coconut. Which, unfortunately, didn't trigger the confetti cannon in the chat. But that's okay, because I can do that for you now. You're going to get some Bin Feffy! Yeah! Bin Feffy! Binny Bin Face! Bin Feffy! 27% of the vote, man. 27% of the vote. That's not bad, is it? Go away. That's not bad. Is it? It's not bad. Okay, China's World Humanoid Robot Games. I want to talk about this. So the World Humanoid Robot Games began in Beijing on Saturday, and they run for 5 days, right? Chinese robot competitions began in the late 1990s, largely as a university and hobbyist event. And it hosted the world's first robot conference in Beijing. Hosted the world's first robot conference in 2015, and they got like a 5-year robotics plan, including subsidies, tax incentive, financing support, and competition has driven down components and production costs. And there's a cyber dog straight out of Black Mirror, and it's the cyber dog. Where's the cyber dog information? was trying to read about the cyber dog. I want to blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, quadruped, right? This cyber dog, launched at roughly £1,500. It cost them to make a cyber dog, compared with 75,000 for Boston Dynamics Spot, the dog called Spot, at the same time. That's kind of crazy. More than 100 teams entered the 2026 event, and 47 robots completed the course. And there was a hilarious bit where one of the robots couldn't slow down in time, hit a wall, padded wall, fell over backwards, and almost split in two. Sparks came from its groin area. It was kind of funny and kind of fucked up all at the same time. Like watching someone that you don't like. Just shuffle off this mortal coil. Anyway, robots are also being tested on new tests of robot hand dexterity, assessed on tasks including tightening screws, opening bottles, and picking up beads with tweezers. The emphasis is shifting from demonstrations and novelty sporting events towards practical factory logistics and service tasks. Okay, bit of shit news. The boat has sunk off Tunisia with 13 people missing. 2 people have been rescued. All those reported missing were Tunisian nationals. Looks like it was a boat of people trying to get out of Tunisia and over to Malta or Italy. And it's another grim demonstration of just how cruel and unfair and horrible our migration and our asylum-seeking laws are in Europe. It should be free for anyone in the world to say, I want sanctuary in Europe, and you apply for it. And if we say no, you can't come. But we've got your fingerprints, and we've got your eye scans, and you've got your DNA, and we've got your blood type and everything. So if you do try and come over, we can send you straight back. Cyber dog. What? K9, my favourite Doctor Who companion. Yeah, the K9's a nice cyber dog, but if you watch Black Mirror, then that's not a very nice cyber dog. But thank you very much for the confetti there, which allows me to give... what should we do? Should we do some Boba Fetty? I think Yay! Boba Fetty! Boba Fetty! This is what you get. You get some Boba Fetty. Boba Fetty! Cool. That's what you get. Some Boba Fetty. Thank you very much to One Angry Pagan for allowing us to we're cracking out the popcorn today, aren't we? Well, champagne, whatever, that thing. Start another goal. Let's do it. Let's start another goal. Come on. Every time someone gives some money, we have a little party. Anyway, so we've got this weird news coming out of North Yorkshire. Okay, North Yorkshire. Researchers have established what they describe as the world's deepest underground farm at a Bolby mine in North Yorkshire. Crops are being grown at about 1.1 kilometres underground. Initial trials include lettuce and pak choi. The project is a partnership between the University of Sheffield and Farm Urban. The farm is housed in the government funding STFC Bolby Underground Laboratory. It remains an active mine and the world's only commercial producer of polyhalite and mineral used as fertilizer. Polyhalite. Commercial producer of polyhalite. If anything begins with a poly, you tend to think that it's not actually a naturally occurring substance, don't you? I do anyway. Hello Polly. No, this parrot's dead. The agricultural research is examining whether unused mine infrastructure could support controlled environment farming. Underground temperatures and environmental conditions are comparatively stable. Researchers hope this could reduce the heating and cooling requirements associated with conventional above ground vertical farms. Controlled farming also removes exposure to drought, excessive rainfall, frost, and other surface weather. So, we might end up in a few years' time with just solar panels all over the farmland and the farms underground. I don't know how practical this will be at scale, having these massive farms under the ground, digging out these tunnels. I don't know what it's going to do for subsidence. Results in the first growth cycle have been mixed, with some lettuces exceeding the size of a human head. apparently, while other plans performed less well. The trial runs for 12 months. Researchers plan to examine samphire and, I don't know what samphire is, and tomatoes as, I don't know what tomatoes are, as potential future crops. The project has UK government backing. Bowlby Underground Laboratory is one of only 12 comparable deep underground scientific laboratories worldwide. The facility hosts particle physics, dark matter, and quantum technology research. A new cavern, scheduled for completion in 2030, will increase available laboratory size by a factor of 5. Yeah. Tell me what you need to. Right, yeah, exactly. Let's do it. Okie dokie then. Silo. Yes. Just watched the latest episode of Silo, which is quite fun. It's not very fun, but it's got Rebecca Ferguson in it, and I don't know what it is about her, but anything she's in, I'll just watch it. Samphire is a salty sea herb. Is it really? Sounds like something out of Game of Thrones. Interestingly, lithium is the least reactive element in the left-hand column of the periodic table. Wow. Cool. The least reactive. I mean, that's not saying much, though, because there's some highly reactive shit in there, isn't there? Okay. Right. I am going to get my coat. No, I'm not. I'm going to take you to the papers. Papers! For the Morning Brew Paper Roundup. MPs have already accepted £400,000 of freebies this year. Now, when I was setting up my notes this morning, I thought, should I cover this story? And I thought, no, I don't think this works out to about £100 per fucking MP. I don't care. I couldn't give a shit. £1,000. So it's less than £1,000 per MP. There's 650 MPs, and it's per year, and it's 400,000. It's fuck all, right? Yeah, come back to me when one person is given 5 million and fucking lies about it. When one MP is given £5 million, then that's a problem. A bunch of MPs getting about £800 each over the course of a year to buy stuff, of freebies. So this is like getting into gigs. I keep going on about this. Getting into gigs doesn't cost anyone anything, There's like 20 people get in for free to any gig. Any gig you've ever been to, a few people have got in for free. It might have been me. I might have been there writing a review for BBC Liverpool. Or I might have got in because I know the band. Or I might have got in because I know the person who runs the venue. Or I might have got in because I'm filming the fucking thing. And there are many reasons why I might go in for free. But it's not costing you any extra money. You're not paying for me to go. Your ticket price isn't higher because of the guest list. There's always been a guest list. There'll always be a guest list. And they never, ever, ever pack anywhere into absolute fucking maximum capacity just in case, They always if it's priced as a capacity of 900, they're not going to sell 900 fucking tickets, are they? They're going to sell like 850, and then some people will just fucking turn up. It's not dead man's boots. Stop it. This is really frustrating that the concentrate on this, and obviously the Guardian is trying to just separate itself from the controversy that it caused last week by going after Jason Arday with the right wing newspapers. Because the Guardian pretend to be left-wing most of the time. They're going on, MPs have been accused of failing to learn their lesson over freebies. Well, what lesson do they need to learn? Freebies are great. What was your problem? £800 a year? £800, the equivalent of £800 a year. That's fine. I couldn't give a shit. Honestly, why don't you whinge about like celebrities going to Wimbledon for free? They can afford it. Go on, say that to them. Say that to David Beckham. Hey, why are you getting into Wimbledon? Why are you getting into the Formula One Grand Prix in Silverstone for free? Everyone has to pay for it, and you've got enough money. Why are you getting clothes for free given to you by clothing companies? Why are you getting perfume for free paid for by perfume? Why are you getting all this stuff for free? Rich people get stuff for free all the time. I don't care. I honestly couldn't give a shit. We got bigger fish to fry. Believe me, they are huge fish. Those prehistoric fish that are the size of a fucking ocean, right? We've got them to fry. All right, it's going to take a long time to fry them. Otherwise, we might end up with the sort of inside not cooked and the outside just really crispy, blackened and crisp. So we don't want to do that, do we? No. Clearly, bigger fish, fry. Right. Okay. You might care. You might care more than I do. I couldn't give a shit about this. I think this is just a weapon of mass distraction to go. Is it really bad? What Nigel Farage did? Is it really bad? If you think about it, is it really? Because that's all the MPs. That's 650 MPs. That's less than £1,000 each, right? I mean, that's my head maths. All right. That's £800 each or something over a year. Couldn't give a shit. of free stuff. I mean, it's not even like you know. Oh, and they've got a story here about what's his name? The Prime Minister. What's his name? Andy Burnham went to Glastonbury for free. What? He was performing. He was speaking at an event at Glastonbury. What are you talking about? He was like one of the performers, essentially. Yeah, but he got some other people in. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? Last year I went to Glastonbury for free for the first time in my life. Okay, I've been to Glastonbury 15 times before, and I always paid. But no, 16 times the charm, got in for free because my mate was fucking playing in the band. I mean, maybe I'm just the worst. Maybe I'm just the worst. Or maybe, it's nice to have nice things now and again. Anyway, I couldn't care less. What I do care about is El Nino to batter UK with storms, unprecedented weather event forecast to bring increased rainfall and a hot 2027. Next year is going to be mental. You think that this year's weather was crazy with like having 2 months of rain at the beginning of the year and then having this unprecedented heat wave. Next year is going to be even worse. And it's going to be even worse for like old people going, oh, but it's just like 1979. Oh, no, 1976. It's just like 1976. No, it's not. Because that was a one-off. That was a once-in-a-century fucking heat event. We're having those once-in-a-century heat events every fucking year now. It's not once a century. That's the trend. Samphire is an edible, salt-tolerant succulent. Ooh. Keep talking. Bulby Mine is a death trap and owned by ICL Israel. Oh, fucking hell, is it? Oh. Can't have nice things, can we? Everything's shit. Anyway, talking about everything being shit. Harry and others to pay £9.5 million bill. George orders payment within 7 days to Daily Mail publisher after claimants lost case against the Mail being scum. The ice cream crisis. There's a story about that. I don't know what's going on there. They got to think about Harry and Meghan, the sequel. I couldn't care less. R&B star Georgia Smith. It's not normal growing up having so many people with something to say about your appearance. Yes, I agree. This is the way the world is. Transform your health in just 10 minutes. Cool. And a day. And then High Court orders Prince Harry and celebrities to pay huge legal bill. Then we've got the Daily Telegraph there. We've got Meghan looking gorgeous. We've got who's this? Vanessa Feltz. Being all privately educated and not very nice. We've got Mandelson probe at risk of collapse. US authorities unlikely to hand over key Epstein files. Police need to bring charges. Well, there you go. You're not going to get hold of the files that you need to prove that Mandelson is a gobshite because Trump is in those files. And also the fact that he bought his wife off a paedophile is also in the files. Probably, allegedly, people are saying. Meghan and in Netflix talk to star in Richie gangster series The Gentleman. I've talked about that. Don't give children runny eggs, parents told in Salmonella Scare. Burnham policies are piffle, says donor. Okay. And then we've got 31,000 pounds fraudster claim for deaths of 30 pets. And then Chinese pay £1,000 for child hardship camps. £1,000, not very much. It's going to buy you many camps, is it? Harry, Elton and co will have to pay millions to the Mail. There's the Mail fucking squawking there. Fuck off. In France, we are too afraid of illegal migrants. A mother across the channel reveals small boats are not just a British problem. Okay, cool. They're not. David Faulkner, thank you very much for the 38 Hong Kongian dollars. That's very kind of you. Just watching the sunrise and studying the detailed relief carvings on the Borobudur Temple, Yogya on Java Island. I never miss your show, Graham. Oh, thank you very much, David Faulkner. I've been to the Borobudur Temple. I was there in 2002. I was there, and it was cool. I really liked it. I went to Borobudur, and I went to the. Isn't there like a Yaga temple? The other one, the very hard to say one. I went to that one as well. Thank you very much, Dave, on that, and that allows me to do another bin feffy. So we're going to do the bin Graham face feffy. Hey, yes, it's going all the way to Indonesia. All the way to Indonesia. Hello. Look, it just looks at my face. That's so weird. It's like it just becomes my face. That's really cool. That's so cool. It's so cool. Thanks for your support. I was very excited about the Confetti. Okay, so I'll start the other goal because we've got a few minutes left. I wanted to wrap up by 2:15, but I will crack on regardless, thanks to, people putting 50p in the idiot. Keeps me going. In France for 2, blah, blah, blah. Harry and 6 others, blah, blah, blah. Big kick-off. The Premier League is, oh, God. Did we have a week without football? It's great, wasn't it? Why I Never Date British Men by Lisa Hilton. Couldn't give a shit. Don't know who you are. Well, I don't care. Whatever. Is this the UK's best ready meal? I don't know. Harry and celebrities could face a £34 million bill. Privacy claim unreasonable to high degree. Prince Harry and 6 other public figures face up to £34.4 million in legal costs related to a failed privacy action after a judge ruled that they presented their claim in a way that was unreasonable to a high degree. Fucking arsehole. I bet he went to school with them all. And exclusive, Count Binface unmasks. And they got a picture of the guy who plays Count Binface. Oh, there he is! Oh, bloody hell, he's just taken over my head again. I didn't mean that for that to happen. That just happened. Sorry about that. Sometimes I get really excited and my confetti cannon just goes off in my pants. I mean, often it just goes off. There's nothing I can do about it. Sorry about that. Anyway, so yeah, there's Binface's true visage. He's not a bad looking chap, is he? I'm talking about not being bad looking. There's Meghan there. Meg's lock, stock, and 2 moaning royals. Meghan Markle is said to be planning a return to acting, according to claims in the US. She is in talks over a TV role in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman, which stars Vinnie Jones. Vinnie Jones! I wish the first season of that. Apparently there's 2 seasons. I didn't even know there was a second season. The first season was pretty bad. It's very Guy Ritchie. It's very simplistic. It's very simplistic, It's very simplistic. Didn't Borobudur try and take the 1 ring from Frodo? No, Tom Borobudur, he didn't try and take it off Frodo. He said he didn't want it. He just kind of like threw it away and went, what is this trinket? I don't care. But he did save them from the Barrow Downs. So Borobudur saved them from the Barrow Downs. The Barrow Whites and the Barrow Downs. Get it right, Graham. From which was it Mary got the knife that he needed to give the Night King a good stab. And not the Night King, the Night Witch, the Witch Knight, the Witch King, the Witch King of Angmar. That's the one. Get me sprawling fantasy epics mixed up here. It's easy to do though, isn't it? Tony. This isn't a bung, Graham, and I expect nothing, but how is the biggest pan of scouse going? Pretty good, Tony. We're in process of working on that as we speak. We're going to be we're planning to make the biggest pan of scouse ever. Well, it's going to be the biggest pan of stew to get the Guinness World Records because no one else makes scouse. So it's not. It wouldn't be a Guinness World Record to make the biggest pan of scouse because there isn't a record at the moment. But we can make the biggest biggest pan of stew. That'll be the Witch King of Angmar. Yeah, that's true. Wow, big news. Woman has career. Gammons won't like that. As Fat Spicer. Yeah, there you go. Bombadil didn't give a fuck about the ring. He didn't. Listen, we need to let the confetti off again, I think, because Tony gave £5 super chat. So here we go. Confetti! Yay! Oh, confetti! It's all good. Oh, where are we? Oh, we were looking at the weekend. High Court orders Prince Harry and celebrities to pay huge legal bill. I think we've already covered that, haven't we? And then we've got the Daily Mirror, the Duchess and the Gentleman. The Duchess of Sussex is said to be talks over a role in The Gentleman. Which is fair enough, innit? With a gentleman, posh people who deal drugs for a living, gentleman, etc. Do you know what? It'd be really fun if she gets that job because then they can have real fun with just taking the piss out of the media and the obsession, the unhealthy obsession that they have over Meghan Markle for some reason. It was the Witch King of Angmar. That's the reason why Aragorn was brought up. Alicia was brought up by Elrond. There you go. Indeed. Anyway, so that's it. That's it, my friends. That is it. I'm afraid we're gonna have to leave it at that. Let's go away and do our own things. I might do a show tonight, actually. I could do with, put a few more hours in here in the chair. So if you'd like to join me for that, or if you know, or if I don't do it, you don't join me for that. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But join my randomness by giving me a like. Give the channel a like. And also, if you're not subscribed, you're watching this on catch up, please subscribe to the channel. Try and catch it live in the future by hitting the bell notification icon, and you'll get a little notification. Thanks for bearing with me this morning. We are the knights that say "Nee," says Simon Smith, which was held. That comment from Simon Smith was held then. I had to approve that because we are the knights who say "Nee." Anyway, thanks again. Have a great night and be kind to yourself and each other. Great night. Great day, sorry. And be kind to yourself and each other. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice. I had a dodgy sandwich and was brought up by me. Lol. What? I was brought up by me. Why can one never go hungry in the desert? Because of the sandwiches there. Okay, until next time, thanks very much for watching. Hello, good evening, welcome, and